Hey guys, what's up? This is Lawskis, and today I am bringing you the new Garbodor deck from Guardians Rising. I'm gonna get all that intro shit out the way. We're gonna wait until the end of the video and talk about that for the new, the newer people, the older people, just like what's going on and everything. But let's go ahead and get right started with it. Today we're talking about the Garbodor deck. You might have seen this list. We're going to be doing it through this format. I think it's a lot clearer than being like, oh, look at my little cards on the table, and then with the proxies, I don't like it. The deck's fairly new, and there's not a lot of news. I mean, the pre-release just happened. If you're watching this in the future, that's the reason why. So let's go ahead and get started with the Pokemon. The deck is called Garbodor because that is your cake de resistance. That is your card that is going to be pushing you to the front, is going to be ending out the game, hitting those one-hit KOs. We're actually going to be running the original Trubbish with Acid Spray. The card is much better than the new Guardians Rising one. Some people are being cheeky and they're running one of it. You don't need it. Just trust me. Plenty of games has Acid Sprayed actually affected the game. You know, sometimes you don't draw into the Tauros or the Tapu, or you don't get the Garbodor. You just need one turn, one more turn before you can do something. And Acid Spray typically knocks off an energy, especially if you're going second and they've already placed an energy. I've got it where I've hit a double colorless energy. I don't know where they placed it, but it's just overall fantastic. You don't need to run the other one. Just wait until it gets rotated out or something. Garbodor is we're running 3 of the new Guardian Rising and 1 of the Garbotoxin. Garbotoxin, self-explanatory. It slows down the deck, not only your deck but your opponents, and it stops all abilities. So things like Setup and the new Tapu Lele, they basically can't get their effects off, and it's really fantastic. It just sits there, and put a float stone on it, and you basically slow down the entire game. Our baby, the reason why we're running the deck. Garbodor from Guardian Rising. Trash Lance hits for 20 for each item. Self-explanatory. The card is going to hit knockouts. A lot of times what I've noticed are people playing around it, and that's why people are going to tell you that Garbodor is a late game card. It's not something you would play, your first or second turn where you're like, oh, I'm going to smash into you every turn. That's actually for the other Pokemon. The other Pokemon are, and this is going to be, this is your frontliner. This is the Pokemon you're going to start without. This is the Pokemon you're going to want to go through your deck and really look for. If anyone tells you otherwise, they're probably wrong. Tauros GX, I mean, you guys have known him from, all the way from Sun and Moon, so you've got a couple of months to know that Tauros is not someone you mess around with. Basically, he's always threatening Mad Bull, and not a lot of people can really play around with him because you play so many Float Stone, and we'll get to that Float Stone in a second, but 60 ever damage every turn, even with 160 and then someone hits you for 100, that's an instant KO. That's 180 damage. Just not a card that you really want to mess with, but it's absolutely phenomenal. I once played the mirror match with the Topix or Tapu Topix, whatever it's called, and yeah, it just you can't attack it. It just runs people over. The second one is Tapu Lele. You guys already know it. It's basically search any supporter where you played. Utterly fantastic card. It's all the rage. This card, it's a Lugia. It's a Lugia with an effect, and it's a wonderful card. It's still, it's something you can use at front line. A lot of people, a lot of matches now, you're gonna look at them, going back and forth and hitting each other with that. And with the Choice Band, it does some really good damage. Sometimes you'll see the Tapu Lele against a Tauros. Tauros with a Choice Band. What do you really do against it? So again, these two are really good cards, and they're going to be the front runners. And right now we're playing 3. From my testing, I've actually never played, unless I started with it, never played more than 1. So I want to run, maybe change it down to 2. There's just not necessarily anything to run at the moment. But it's still fantastic. I'm still going to play 3. And we're just going to go from there. Just see how things play out and how people are going to change it. We might see it come down to 2 with Shaman staying at 1. Some people are doing 2 and 2, Lele and Shaman, but it's really not necessary. The deck is more of a mid-range endgame deck, so Shaman EX is basically there to set up. and you only need the first couple turns, so you don't really necessarily have to have it immediately. But obviously, Shaman into Tapu Lele into, Sycamore N or something that you need is absolutely fantastic. And that's basically going to round up your Pokemon. They all basically do something. Tauros endgame, Tapu Lele, all around the place, and Garbodor coming in smashing at the end. In the Japanese list, they have a Oricorio and they have a Tapu Koko. These cards, while they're good there, aren't at the same strength as they are here because obviously Night March. Oricorio can just, you can put that in the trash can. If I'm gonna edit a picture maybe of me tossing it in the trash can, and then Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko might see some play. I'm not necessarily sure. Obviously, the card is fantastic. We'll see where it goes. You can still keep it in. I did give some options of cards that you can play that I've been considering myself inside. We'll talk about that when we get finished everything because the deck does leave 2 spots open by leaving those guys out. For supporters, we're playing N. We're playing 3 Ns, 4 Sycamore. Obviously, aggressive draws. Self-explanatory. Lysanders. We're playing 2 Lysanders. This is gonna sound crazy, but because the deck is so based on endgame, I might actually bring it up to 3. A lot of times people are still hiding behind, hiding their Shamans, they're still hiding their Tapu Lele, and with the 3 new decks coming out, which is, Trashlands Garbodor, Alolan Ninetales, and Sylveon, and all those decks coming through, cards are still trying to hide in the background, and Trashlands is gonna, hitting for 200 damage, no problem. Might bring it up to 3. I'm not too sure. Hexmaniac. They're still real things. Obviously, you have Tapu Lele and you have Tauros against Glaceon, and Jolteon still exists. A lot of people are gonna be playing those cards, especially with GXs, being so strong and people bringing them for evolutions. Hexmaniac, super spicy still, especially against Decidueye. It stops like all those really cool effects. And, if you have everything set up, you got your Tauros double colorless, you got a Tapu Lele, and, you have the Float Stone on the Trubbish, and you're getting ready for Garbodor. Doesn't matter. You just Hexmaniac, you're good to go. And you got a full turn, 60 damage off your Tauros. It's just super aggressive on a late game deck, and it's really awesome. The Japanese deck, and I put these guys together because the Japanese deck actually runs 2 Hexmaniacs. I don't feel like Decidueye is going to be that present in the next coming, just like with everything coming out and everything. I think that it too much cycling, and this deck doesn't have a bad matchup again. It's like we still have Versus Seeker and all that stuff. So I actually replaced it with top Professor Kukui. He, if I call him Kukuki, I'm sorry, but he's actually maybe my favorite supporter in the game. 20 damage is nothing to laugh at. Sometimes you always need that 10 or you need that 20 damage, and he's always there, just giving you a thumbs up. I love him. Obviously, it's a personal opinion of mine. So if you don't like Kukugi, if you want to prefer something else, I highly recommend you change him out. In my book, that extra 20 damage does work. 90 becomes, 60 becomes 80. 120, 140. Obviously, you know how it works. Kukugi is fantastic. But yeah, it's good. Pokemon Fan Club. This is a more controversial pick. I have one right here. Thanks, Alex. But I'm going to be honest. I think a lot of people are running right now because of the Japanese list, because of an item lock, because you might have trouble. But the thing is, I want to be 100%. I'm playing it, and I know you basically get a Tapu Lele for next turn. You can set up your Tauros. You can set up everything. And it came to the point where I didn't necessarily need it. And I feel like I haven't, there wasn't anything, it hasn't come it hasn't been impactful as I thought it would be. I was really excited. Oh, with Trubbish and a Tauros, Trubbish and a Tapu Lele, Trubbish and a Shyman. Just basically getting it set up, basically, you have, if Pokemon Fan Club's your one card, Shaman, Trubbish, play Trubbish, Shaman, draw 6, that's 7 cards. It's good. It's good, I understand, but I feel like I haven't had a chance to abuse it yet. like all the other cards. It's not on the same power level as, you know, Hex Maniac, Lysander, and Ninja Boy, and maybe Kakuki. It's, you know, one of those like one-ups. But, you know, what if you try it out, please do hit me back, maybe hit me up with comments what you think about Pokemon Fan Club, because I'm more like a 50-50 on it. It's might actually get cut. But yeah, let's go on. Ninja Boy yo, Ninja Boy is fantastic, let's just put it that way. Basically steals games. You know, you Tapu Lele, you hit for 100 damage. Oh, Ninja Boy into Tauros GX, Rage 120, or even Mad Bull GX. Amazing, an amazing card. Not ever going to be disappointed in. It's definitely a fantastic card. With that, you can also, if you're ever in deep trouble and need a lot of heals, you can always Ninja Boy into Tapu Lele and equip an energy, and there you go. You have a you have the full heal, I believe, for Tapu Lele. But the supporters as it goes, obviously the ends, Sycamore and Lysander, you keep the same. These are all up to change. There's like, you play what you want, and but as far as my lineup, I think these are fantastic. The only thing that I would talk about is maybe Fan Club. It's a little wishy-washy, you know what I mean? So that's gonna round out the supporters. Okay, guys, let's get into the items now. The items you play going forward have to be incredibly game changing, or they have to have like a really good effect. Now, with the cards I'm playing, or that was in the original deck, I feel like it's incredibly solid. You're playing Versus Seeker, obviously supporters win games. Ultra Balls, you know, you need them. You need your Pokemon, you got to find them. Perfect. Field Blower, that's the new one. Field Blower is a amazing item card. In the mirror match, in anything you play, another maybe against another Garbodor deck, it's fantastic. Basically, with us, we're playing about 7 against, you know, something like Darkrai, who's playing like 4. You can knock off the Float Stones, the Choice Bands, the Fury Fighting Belts, and the XP shares. Like, I can't wait to finally play that Darkrai deck, hit him for 180 damage, and just, oh, you have 180? Float Stone, just Field Blower, and just get rid of it. Amazing card, definitely turns the tide, especially if you are playing against in the mirror match. They have a Choice Band and Float Stone. You Field Blower them away, and all of a sudden you're 40 damage plus, and they're only 20 damage plus. Field Blower is, again, I cannot stop talking about how good this card. It's going to be in every deck. People are playing one-ups. Don't play the one-of. You need it at 2. It's just all around good, and definitely don't cut it down to 2. You can try it. Some people are trying it at 2. You don't need to. Choice Band, obviously, another new card. Phenomenal. And a lot of the cards from the new set, Tapu Lele, Field Blower, Choice Band, and Rescue Stretcher, spicy cards. Unbelievable. Chest Band equipped to a monster or a Pokemon and make its attack 30 plus. So if it's a GX or a EX, sorry, couldn't remember. What are those again? So you basically deal another 30 damage. I don't really know if I would replace one with a Fury Fighting Belt for Tauros. It's like going back and forth because the Tauros gets a little tankier. He can take more hits. I haven't really tested things out, but Choice Band for me right now is the best choice. Float Stone for Float Stone. Call me crazy. When I originally saw this, I took it out immediately. I was like, no Float Stones. That is too many. Why would I need them? And it comes down to it is that it's really cool to switch your Pokemon, and there are no Pokemon in your lineup that cannot defend themselves. You're really not setting down Trubbishes without a Garbodor coming next turn. So, and you're never, when you play Tapu Lele is so easy to get going. It's just a double colorless and you can start attacking. Shaman has a 1 retreat and you can always set up. And then the Garbodor, you're always usually equipping. I might change it to 3 Float Stone and put in Olympia or a Switch or something that switch out, because if you haven't noticed, the deck doesn't really run any switchers, and it's basically every Pokemon's out there to just die. And while it is good while they're trading, sometimes you don't want to give up those prizes, you know, especially with the Tauros and a Choice Band, and you end up losing 2 prizes that way instead of someone having to waste a Lysander. It just kind of sits there. But for now, it's 4 Floatstone. You won't regret it. Just test it out. Maybe you want 3, but it's definitely a lovely card. Rescue Stretcher is really funny because it sucks because it's like, oh man, I have the English versions of all these cards, but I can't find the American, or the American for the card arts. Rescue Stretcher, the card is fantastic. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. We're playing 2 in the deck. Does it need to go down to 1? Does it need to go down to 1? No, it really doesn't. You can basically sycamore away your Garbodors, you can sycamore your Trubbishes, you can sycamore your Tapu Lele's, and you can simply rescue Stretcher them right back. And that card is phenomenal, unbelievable. How many times I've just been like, oh, okay, well, I have Trubbish, I don't want to get my Garbodor, but I'm trying to dig for cards, whatever, and then you take the Rescue Stretcher, you get it right back, especially since it goes to your hands. I've actually never had to play it where I put it back in the deck, because you don't really want to. You don't really want to draw any of this stuff. It's mostly about your Versus Seekers and your late game supporters. But yeah, Rescue Treasure is amazing. And we're gonna end with the Super Rod. This is okay, and a lot of people are gonna tell you don't Super Rod for energies, and that's the only reason I ever played it. Is just to get back my energies. A lot of disruption decks are going to be around because of some of the faster stacks going away. Like, Darkrai is not going to just all of a sudden disappear, but it's also going to hurt. It's going to take a hit. And we're going to see like decks like Lapras come back, and I just absolutely despise Houndoom. We're going to see those decks, and Sylveon, of course, with the disruption. You get those energies back so you can hit with the Garbodor. Or let's say you have to hit with a Tauros, you can still equip 2 Psychics, but it's still a good card, and you should highly recommend it with all the disruption coming out. But then that leaves 2 steps. That leaves 2 spaces. That's going to be Oricorio and Tapu Koko. I already went over it. You don't necessarily just get rid of Oricorio, and then with the Tapu Koko, it's your choice to leave it in. I put 4 cards here. I forgot to put Team Flare Grunt. I might actually try a Team Flare Grunt. Right now, I'm personally running the Lily and the Drampa. Drampa is the one basically you just remove the 2 double colorless energy, and I usually remove the special energy, and you're good to go. 180, one energy, phenomenal card. Floatstone it. It's just a good guy. You just sit out there 20. If they Lysander it out, just shoot it right back. Just obviously be aware of Field Blower. Lily. You might be asking, why are you playing Lily? The reason I'm playing Lily is because obviously turn 1 Tapu Lele, draw 8. A lot of times when you draw your cards, it's going to be like Trubbish, Energy, Tauros, Stretcher, Ultra Ball, and then like N. And so right off the top, you can basically go, okay, play the Trubbish, play the Energy, play Tauros, Ultra Ball the Tapu Lele, and then Tapu Lele, and then Lily for 8. So it's really good. It's a little cheeky. I don't know how consistent it is. I've done it like once or twice, but it's up to you if you want to try it. Second choice, Enhancement Hammer. Obviously, you're a slow deck with Tauros, but you might want to slow them down a little with Enhancement Hammer. It's just that with Drampa, I already have something, and plus it's a monster or a Pokemon, so it does fine. Last one is Olympia. Olympia is fantastic. Who doesn't like Olympia, especially against like Decidueye and decks that, those kind of decks, and anything running Plume. But basically Olympia is another way of retreating, because a lot of times you have the Tauros. It's really funny. You have to play the deck to understand how much I emphasize Tauros, because sometimes Tauros is just in trouble, which is really funny because I'd love to see. One matchup I haven't done is I haven't played the Lapras matchup, which basically OTKs the Tauros, but it's something I haven't played. Energy Disruption is really weird, so we'll just going forward. We'll have to see everything out. And Team Flare Grunt, obviously, it's a fantastic card. Slows down your opponent, and it's just basically you know, you're slow. You're not really gonna dig after you get everything on the board. You're just kind of setting up, and you're just winning the slow game. And you know, every turn versus Seeker into a flare gun is fantastic. But yeah, that's it. That is the Garbodor Tauros Tapu Lele deck. I sorry if I talked your ears off. This is like a new thing for Pokemon, and it's something I want to do. I think it's fantastic. Again, this is not my creation. This is the Japanese deck, and my 2 cents on it. Like everyone's gonna be running around with this same build for a while, and I just wanted to get out there and just talk about it. But definitely seem to look out. Everyone's talking about the Ninetales deck beating this. I haven't actually played the matchup yet. I don't think you should have a problem with it. I know that they can one-hit kill you, but what can't? You know what I mean? So again, this deck is going to be one of the best decks. It's not explosive, but it's really a nice, great control deck if you're used to those slow, drawn-out games. I don't have a rating system, but I think I'm going to add a rating system. But whatever this would be, it would be an A. It's fantastic. It doesn't have very many bad matchups. I'm really excited for the Decidueye match. I think we have a leg up because we can, you know, just do a bunch of damage with Tauros. No one likes him. My only fear is the Decidueye hitting us in the back with the Feather Arrow, and we have to keep up. But anyway, that's it, guys. I'm not going to drag you on anymore. That's the build. Check it out. It's a pretty solid build. I love it. It's just only something I'm going to be playing. I have it, you know, right here. My baby. Definitely test plays. Definitely expect the deck to be pretty cool. Hey guys, thank you for coming to the end of the video. I just want to say thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you guys are new to the stream, check it out from the Pokemon community. What's up? My name is Lolskis, and I mostly do streams for Twitch. I play games like Dead by Daylight, Ark, 7 Days to Die, a lot of those survival games, and sometimes I play Pokemon on stream. So if you do ever want to hang out, see what's up with the community, hang out with us. But if you guys are old, you are old to the you know YouTube, or you're on my Twitch, my lovely the Lolshikis, that's for you. I know Shrewd hopefully waited till the end. I know someone did, but thank you guys. I just want to say appreciate it. If you guys could do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment, say you love me. If you're part of my Twitch community, I love you guys. Take it easy. I'll think of something better to do with this. I'll see you guys tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next time. Boop.